And it looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. I'm Alexi. I'll be the MC for this game. We are here playing Checkpoint Midnight, specifically Checkpoint Midnight Waltz of Treachery, Season 2, Session 5. So this is the end of one of the 3 seasons of our quarterly series. So we're going to get to see some manner of climax, some things resolved, some things, of course, left unresolved, carrying forward into the 3rd season, which will be playing in September. But we're saying goodbye to one of our characters tonight, so this should be something of a dramatic send off, I hope. And we are playing this game through the Gauntlet gaming community. You can learn more about the Gauntlet at gauntlet-rpg.com or by following them on Twitter at GauntletRPG. The Gauntlet is a cool place full of cool folks who are playing games all the time. We've got online sessions of many role-playing games each and every month here on the Gauntlet. And this game, again, is Checkpoint Midnight. Checkpoint Midnight is an in-development game of Cold War spycraft with supernatural operatives. I've been working on it under my game design handle of Cloven Pine Games. You can learn more about Checkpoint Midnight by following me on Twitter at Cloven Pine Games or checking out my itch.io page. There's also a list specifically to sign up for updates on Checkpoint Midnight, and that is found at bit.ly/Checkpoint Midnight List, capital Checkpoint, capital Midnight, capital List. I'll put the link below the video for ease of reference. Alrighty. So as I alluded to, we've got a team of supernatural operatives that we've been following the adventures of for, at this point, 2 seasons of this quarterly. Let's have our players introduce themselves, and then we'll go back around and meet the operatives. So players, first just tell us who you are as a player. Mention your name, your pronouns if you wish, your online handle if you so desire, and anything else you want to throw in. But we can keep it snappy, as I suspect some of us will. Puckett, start us off.
I'm Puckett. I use he, him pronouns. Moving right along.
Leandro, you're up next.
Hi, my name is Leandro. Use he, him pronouns. I did come with a kind of a fun fact, I guess. It's a dice fact, and probably I only learned about this today, but probably you all already know. Do you know that, like, when you add the opposite sides of any face and a die, it always adds up to 7?
Of a 6-sided dice.
So a 6-sided die, yeah, specifically. Very specifically, 6-sided. I forgot. Yes, we're in.
Yeah, it would be weird if a 20-sided die had opposite faces that always added up to 7.
Yeah, that sounds like that's a mystery worth solving.
Great to have you, Leandro. Jesse, you're up next.
Yes, I am Jesse. My pronouns are he, him. Fun fact. This one's for you, Alexi. You probably already know it. Sam Wanamaker, who is the actor I have face cast as Joske, my character, pivotal in the rebuilding of the Globe Theatre in Stratford.
Yes, and he's the namesake of their 2nd indoor venue now.
Very cool.
I was when I reverse Google image searched the picture you put up there, and I was like, oh, Wanamaker, I know that name.
I thought you might.
But we're not playing one of my Shakespeare focused games this evening, though perhaps another time. Last but not least of our Checkpoint Midnight players, Stephen, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, hey there, Stephen, he, him. Fun fact is that many of our words for barn animals trace their roots to Old English, whereas their meat, mutton, pork, beef, have their root in Old French.
Yes,
because the English would raise the animal, the English peasants would raise the animals, but the French lords would actually eat them.
Another legacy of the Norman conquest there. Thank you all for introducing yourselves and sharing these extremely fun facts. Let's go back around and learn some more fun facts about our characters.
Leandro seems so delighted with that.
Our characters in Checkpoint Midnight. Puckett, start us off. Tell us about your Unburied.
I will be playing Jack Hardesty tonight. Jack uses he, him pronouns, and he is a deeply unhappy and angry man because he was pleasantly dead. until some scientists decided that just wasn't the state that they wanted him in, and decided to stitch a bunch of body parts together and call that life and bring him back to whatever it is that passes for it now. And he wants to hunt them down and end them so they can't do it to anyone else.
A man on a mission, Jack Hardesty. And most recently you've been cultivating handlers on both sides of the the West Soviet division in this Cold War city, and just playing it pretty cool. As you,
I like how you say that I'm cultivating the handlers as opposed to them cultivating me.
It just feels like what's going on, given that you've tried to take this your CIA buddy under your wing and treat him as a protege.
Trip's a good kid. He just needs some guidance. I mean, I don't want to say that he'll ever be a top line handler, but he's a good kid. We could use more like him.
He gave you a cool watch. And you were working on recovering a sort of wayward fellow undead soldier for your Soviet side handler, and I'm rather than bring him back in a body bag, you seem to have brought him around and convinced him it's time to come out of the cold. So excited to see how that plot line develops as well with Timofey. Cool. Anything else we should definitely know about Jack?
Than making enemies, but it's more rewarding. And plus, friends are more likely to help you put bullets in your enemies. So if you make more enemies, that just means you have more people to put bullets in. Making friends means you have more people to help you put bullets in the people that need to have bullets in them.
Truly inspiring. Leandro, will you tell us about your Artful?
Yeah, Emilie Landau, who lives on the razor's edge by the grace of her benefactor. She is a young woman from a nowhere Austrian village who's come to Vienna, spirited by her benefactor and gifted with supernatural luck, which is used to try and make something of herself in a weird, shadowy, supernatural underground Vienna. She's been doing well at that. Still got an apple, got a piece of a weird painting. But last session, she recently met up again with her benefactor / ex, Victoria, who, well, things are tense as things are between the two. And basically, she got given, well, I guess it's a kind of a mission. She got given a notebook and a dagger. And basically, if she does this, she gets to be Queen of Vienna or something. She gets some kind of position. If Victoria gets her throne.
Yeah, it sounds like Victoria's planning to usurp the throne of Night herself, and is promising Emilie the world, or at least Vienna, if she's able to lend assistance here. So pretty good deal, I suppose. Probably nothing shady going on there.
You've got
a notebook and a dagger. I'm curious when you take a look inside that notebook, but
we're children of night, Alexei. We're nothing but shade.
Amazing.
Oh, we're gonna miss you, Valentine. Anything else we should know about Emilie, Leandro?
Only that she did get a handler last session from the Soviet side, who is just another refugee from our Urban Shadows campaign. Another ex of Victoria's, this Faye from the Winter Court, all the way from the east, dear Malashka. So we don't have to see her tonight because we got a lot of stuff going on, but that did happen.
Yeah, you got in touch with her via some sort of little magical signal, a parchment you burned or something. So yeah, certainly excited to see how all of that shakes out. Jesse, will you tell us about your Relentless?
Absolutely. I am playing the dream-stalking relentless Joske Rabinovich, a Polish Jew who survived the Holocaust, and and has been sort of wandering around Europe and the Eastern Mediterranean, trying on ideologies for size. Realized none of them really fit, and sort of had settled on kind of a Epicurean nihilism that was suiting him well. But more and more, he's discovering that rooting himself to other people brings some meaning to his life, or at the very least keeps some bullets from his back. And I think he's still trying to work out how much of this is cynical practicality, and how much of it is emotional connection, and how much that really matters, one way or the other. He in particular has discovered a conspiracy of nightmare elves collaborating with Nazis to bring the nightmare realm closer to the human realm, and thus to create an appropriate dwelling place for the Aryan master race and their cousins in Nightmare. Or that's how they see it anyway.
A conspiracy that few people believe, Joske, about.
Few people. So far, it is mostly Valentine and Jack. I don't know that Emilie's really had a chance to have Joske talk her ear off about it yet, although she's probably heard some whispers.
I think we established that maybe she was like, yeah, that sounds just about as plausible as anything else going on, but without being like, fully like committed to it, I guess.
Right. And I know everybody.
Everybody.
Absolutely everybody. And that's the important things. I did at the end of last session pick up a handler, a Western handler. We have not discussed who that is yet. We can sort of leave that for whatever. I don't have strong feelings about it. I can share one with someone else, or I can get a different one, or we can talk about it at some future point. I forgot. I meant to email you about it, and then I forgot. So,
no worries. Sure thing. Let me know when you have a thought on that score, and feel free to bring in existing NPCs or author a new one. Very good. Joske just heard tell of something pretty suspicious when we wrapped last time. Though we'll see how much of that we get to investigate and how much that's a looming threat. Because we'll turn now to, last but not least, Stephen. You tell us about your Wayward Shadow character.
Hello there, all. Well, I'm Valentine, a child of night, art dealer, Epicurean, smuggler of souls who have those on the living side willing to pay for them. Last session, my apartment was lit on fire. I doted on Emilie and teased my sister, as is my wont. Yes. Oh, and him.
And you did some sneaking about through the secret netherworld byways to move between places in Vienna and beyond during the session as well.
Oh yes, I will pursue Emilie into worlds beyond to dote on her.
What a charming relationship this pair has. Wonderful. Then I think we'll pick up in Checkpoint Midnight itself with our crew, because several bits of news had just broken. Joske was hearing about this tenement full of people who are sleeping and can't be awoken, which certainly seems like a problem, and one that his dream stalking might be able to shed light on. Valentine had also heard that his apartment was being set on fire. Valentine, just to check in with you first, what do you do after getting this news while safely ensconced at Checkpoint Midnight that another place you thought was safe is no longer?
Oh dear, I wonder if Wonder if Victoria is willing to let me crash with her for a while.
Are you musing out loud?
Yes, I'm musing out loud.
In within earshot of Emilie, I assume.
Oh yes, certainly.
Emilie?
Emily's gonna do her best to like ignore that. It's just, well, they're family. You muted yourself there, Jesse.
Oh, I moved myself the other way. I said, you can absolutely sleep on my couch if you need to, but there's also, Victoria can be very hospitable. But I don't have a ton of space, but there's a couch.
Well, of course, she was just devoting all that time to you, Emilie. Whatever were you talking about?
Yeah, Emilie, what do you do?
We were talking about history. Quite frankly, history that none of you are privy to.
I mean, we could ask.
Well, that's her prerogative if she wants to talk about it. I don't. But I can't really stop her, can I?
Here's the question.
Apparently... Oh, go ahead.
Is anyone trying to decipher Emilie? Like, are you just using her?
I am.
Okay, Valentine, you can roll for that because that's a move.
Okay.
Though Emilie, if you want to interfere and make this harder for Valentine, that is also a move.
How do you interfere again?
When you run interference, mark a stress to give a PC advantage or disadvantage on a roll, right? So you could be getting in the mix to help someone out or to trip someone up, which it sounds like is possibly what you're doing here if he's trying to decipher you while you would rather not.
Yeah, I'll spend that stress.
All right, so Valentine, if that's a decipher roll you're going to make, it's a roll with disadvantage.
Okay.
FYI.
Still doing it. That is a 10, I believe, with disadvantage.
What stat are you?
I was using. I'm just chatting, Emilie. I'm not using any of my mystical senses.
Smart move because you're not allowed to use mystical powers on other people inside of Checkpoint Midnight. All right, yeah. So with as the seasoned operator that you are, however, you have still rolled a 10 on decipher despite Emilie, putting up your interference, Emilie.
It was a fairly weak. I could see the eye rolls as she said history.
Yeah, so Emilie, your facade not fully effective against Valentine, I'm afraid. I mean, was it primarily that you were being kind of surly and non-communicative that you were trying to interfere? Was that primarily how you were trying to interfere?
Yeah, I was trying to be stony and surly, being a surly teenager, basically. No, Emily's not a surly teenager, even though she acts like it. She's just surly. But it's not that hard to get under her skin, honestly. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So Valentine, you're going to get to ask 3 of these decipher questions, and Emilie, you'll answer them. And as always with decipher, it can be something the other character picks up without you saying it out loud, right? But Valentine is going to get to hear true answers to these questions that are primarily going to come from you, Emilie, unless there's one that really feels like an MC prerogative. So Valentine, what are you going to ask?
What's going on under the surface?
Well, I think clearly Emily's doesn't want to talk about Victoria, not just because of history, but because there's something very recently and very specifically they talked about that Emilie doesn't want to say. Don't know what it is, but clearly there is something specific she's trying to hide. Don't know how else you can glean from like looking at her. Other than that, she's being quite shifty.
Yeah, if that works
Emilie,
for you,
Emilie, I know that there is something going on between you and Victoria. I'd be careful of any offers she made you. The dark things that dwell on our side of the veil are things that eat up the living and consume and leave them hollowed out and empty. And I am acting on my action, and I am making use of my attend the tale.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to ask your other decipher questions first, or do you want to roll right into that?
I was going to roll right into that and maybe bring up the other decipher questions afterwards.
All right.
Or is this more, because usually I treat it as like for like the decipher is like for the conversation, but is that just like Apocalypse World I'm thinking of?
That's not precisely how it's phrased here, but since you did, you did start right in on a tale to spin for Emilie. I'm willing to have us roll attend the tale, and keep in mind you've got the additional decipher questions.
Okay, sorry. And that is a 11.
Yeah, and you're definitely regaling a denizen of Vienna with tales of the Nether Realm. So you choose 2 from the attend the tale list.
I'm going to choose that I successfully convey the dangers of the other place, and I elicit their true feelings about their home or the other place.
Ooh. Wow. What's can you say like another sentence about that? What part of true feelings are you most interested in drawing out of Emilie here?
I guess I'm interested in trying to draw out her true feelings about Victoria and this plan of hers.
I think you're telling this tale, and like Emilie's kind of like stand up, and she looks like quite fed up, and just says like, "Look, Valentine, Garvey, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, in this age or century or whatever, I'm don't think that I don't know what's ahead of me. I once snuck into the fairy realm to steal. I once stuck into the fairy realm. I once faced down a mad magician who wanted to stuff a ghost inside of me, and I screamed and I destroyed an entire kitchen in front of him. I once snuck into the fairy realm without the fairies even noticing. I was once strapped to a chair in front of the CIA, and I laughed at their face and made them work for me. You think your family member, your cousin, whatever you are to her, you think I'm not prepared for whatever the hell she's planning or offering, or what she thinks of me? What you get is that, like, despite what Emilie's saying, Victoria is absolutely under her skin. Is what you're getting.
I think you need a cigarette after that speech, Emilie. And I offer you a cigarette.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm simply saying that you should get help.
Joske, are you offering comfort or just a cigarette?
I wasn't thinking about offering comfort, but I think I am. I'm sort of like, I was just sort of trying to indicate like I'm on your side in this. That was sort of my gesture, but it could be comfort if Emily's willing to take it.
Yeah, that's true. It's the trigger is when you offer comfort to someone willing to listen. Are you willing to listen to Joske, or are you like on a roll and ignoring the cigarette entirely, Emilie?
If I remember correctly, last session Joske said that the best thing I could do is not do anything. So I'm not willing to listen to him.
That's fine. I sort of look at you and shrug, and I put the cigarette in my mouth.
just Jack, let me check in with you. This is there's a lot of drama flying around this table tucked away in Checkpoint Midnight. How are you taking it all? Are you doing anything about your companions here?
Folks, please. Herr Franz has only just started serving me cookies again. I would like to keep this streak going for a little bit. Do you think that's something that perhaps we could manage? And if it's okay with you, I would like to, let me go through my moves. I would like to trigger once more onto the breach.
That triggers when you give a rousing speech to rally the troops. What sort of a speech is this? Like you've started with a reminder of the need to stay in the good books of the proprietor here at Checkpoint Midnight, our neutral ground for the supernatural.
Yes.
What does it take a turn? As you try to inspire your fellow operatives here.
I would like to remind you all that we are all we have. Well, Valentine, you actually do have more family than the rest of us, but quite frankly, I think you like us just a little bit better. And Emilie, you have a very complicated past, a very interesting past. And yes, you sat in a room and you made the CIA work for you while they were trying to interrogate you. I'll make a note and talk to Tripp about that so that he understands that when you're interrogating someone, you need to make sure that they aren't interrogating you and that you aren't giving away more information than you're getting. So I appreciate that, Emilie. Thank you. But I want you to think about it. This basically comes down to the people at this table. Who are any of us going to talk to about any of these things? Who will understand? Who will believe us? Who but us? Take a bite of a cookie and say, please, I like these cookies. I want Herr Franz to continue bringing them to me and to all of us. We all deserve nice things because we've all been through hell.
Yeah.
Can I pitch some stakes here before you roll?
Ooh. Please do.
So I mean, this is not for Joske personally. Jack has been pitching this concept, right? That like we're a team and we're what we have, and like we should work together. And like Joske has been starting to buy it a little bit. Maybe not the we're all we have thing. I have a lot of friends, but like but like that this group is like significant and meaningful and especially important. But I think if you fail this role, like some of that is gonna slip away, right? Like I'm only speaking for myself here, but I've been trying to figure out like how much Joske is like buying into this story that Jack is telling, and keeps on telling. I think this is a good way to sort of leave that up to the dice. If people
makes a lot of sense to me because the move says on a miss something immediately undercuts your message, and like Joske saying I don't buy it, I'm out, or even like
just arguing.
Yeah, exactly. That works for me. Puckett sound good. Want to give it a roll and see,
why not?
See how it goes. So it's a roll plus dreamer.
Right. $10 on the dice plus 2 is 12.
Okay.
Who
Well,
knew that cookies could be such a unifying factor?
on a hit, everyone listening clears all stress, and the first PC to take up the charge rolls with advantage.
And by the way, you have 4 stress, Joske.
Something, yeah.
Oh, yeah, like that. Joske really likes good things, and the cookies here are very, very good.
Yeah, how can we the audience tell that this is something of a turning point for Joske and something of a balm for him after all the stress has been mounting?
All right, I think I take a deep breath. I look at Emilie, who has kind of like rebuffed me, and I say, "Well, the cookies are really good. Why don't I go get us a plate?"
I think like Emilie wants to say something petty and spiteful, but after Jack's speech, like she kind of like gives him like this kind of look as if like she's saying, I'm only doing this because you made that speech." And she'll sit back down and just say, "Cookies here are nice."
Mm-hmm. I pat Valentine on the shoulders. I get up to get the cookies anyways.
Valentine, do you want to use any of those decipher questions you've still got got banked now that Emilie's cooled down just a bit after Jack made an intervention here? Oh, you're muted, just so you know.
I kind of know who's pulling the strings at this point. I'm fine not really using any of the other questions.
Not even
honestly.
What danger am I overlooking?
Oh, I mean, I guess I think that would speak poorly of Valentine's trust in Emilie.
Wow. Okay. Emilie, just so you know, Valentine, had more decipher questions he could have asked, but he is leaving them by the wayside. What do you do then, Valentine?
Valentine is sincerely offering his help.
That is fascinating. How do you show that you are sincere, I guess? Because I feel like even these folks who've worked with you don't always believe you're sincere at at the outset.
Oh, just to rub it in Joske's face, Valentine's offers one of his cigarettes, which of course he never does.
And of course, this is after Jack's speech, so Emilie's a bit more amenable. Yeah, I think she'll kind of give Valentine like a look and just kind of like carefully take cigarette. What's in this for you?
Oh, helping a friend, helping a sister, and after all, Victoria's. There's often ample room for profit in one of Victoria's plans.
Some say that's all she cares about, really. And because you can smoke indoors in the 1950s.
Oh yeah, it's the 1950s.
Rude enough to smoke indoors.
I've never been, so.
And aren't we out on the back patio anyway, where it's open air?
I mean, kind of a greenhouse, right? So indeed, there's a sense of the outdoors, even within the auspices of the checkpoint.
Yeah, so I think Emilie will light up the cigarette, and just kind of like say like, Whatever the hell Victoria gave me, whatever she gifted me, I would very much prefer if I can give it back, not be under whatever it is that gave me all this, whatever the hell I can do.
Are you lowering your guard?
I think I am, right? Jesus. Yeah. You hear one good speech from Jack, and suddenly you're just bearing your soul. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think. Sorry. I think I just realized I still owe Jack a secret from going my guard last time. Don't worry, Emily's full of secrets.
I mean, this can if this is a secret, you can be sharing it with both Valentine and Jack here and kind of cover that if that's how you want to handle it.
Does that mean everyone gets leverage over me?
Well,
I don't see, yeah.
not me. I'm over by the
Joske's
counter.
ordering some cookies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm happy to come back immediately after this.
Okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, Emily admitting this will be a pretty big secret that she wants to get out of Victoria's thumb. So I think that would count then.
And specifically by
unless
finding
Jack wants
some way to
a bespoke secret.
keep away her luck. Yeah. Sorry, I spoke over you. Say that again.
Oh, no worries. I was just joking. If unless Jack wants a bespoke secret.
No, I mean if this works for both of you.
Emily whispers something into Valentine's ear, then walks over to Jack, whispers something into his ear.
No, I'm up for this, this secret shared to be the secret, right? Because that's pretty interesting that Emily wants out even from her blessing, right? Jack and Valentine, you can mark an additional leverage on Emilie for that, and Joske, you can arrive with the cookies, in the silence that follows that revelation.
Yeah, I'm munching on one as I bring the plate over, kind of oblivious. Put the plate down on the table. So what's everyone? Can we talk about that emergency, or is Valentine your house burned
but
down? There's stuff
thing with Emilie
right?
is much more interesting.
Interesting. Valentine, I admit that I don't have much in my apartment, and quite frankly, I could replace probably everything in there without too much trouble. But you seem like someone who might have things that are a bit more meaningful, a bit more unique. Not just a footlocker with some hand grenades and Thompson guns in it.
Yeah, in fact, I believe Valentine has a basin through which shades can be summoned back at his apartment.
Oh, right, I do have that. I haven't really looked at my gear for a long time.
That's fine. Just glancing back at it myself, and
I mean, I do need that, but this is a lot of machinations that Valentine could get in on right here.
Well, Valentine's thinking about this. I'm going to move my hand a little bit closer to Emilie's, just as a comforting gesture.
Is this enough for comfort?
I think so. Really, really subtle. Because I don't do this sort of thing.
Emilie, are you willing to listen?
Yeah. I was willing to listen to Jack.
Cool. Roll plus dreamer.
8 plus 2 is 10.
On a hit, you are both steadied and can clear a condition or a stress. On a 10+, take leverage over the person you comfort.
Wow, it's a lot of leverage over Emily. All of a sudden, I think Emily is like, gonna like takes Jack's hand and then takes that squeeze and kind of like shoots him a small but grateful looking kind of like smile. Like she needed that, and I'm gonna clear that twisted condition.
Puckett, nice work keeping an eye on people's stress and conditions and clearing it all with some cookies and a hand squeeze. Valentine, you were thinking something over. What do you say to your fellow operatives?
Oh yeah, I think Valentine heads to his apartment. I mean, he does want to check it out, but also he needed to make certain what was up with Emily. But yeah, he heads to his apartment, and to also give Jack and Emily that moment.
Oh, okay. So you head out, like leaving them with that moment, just to check yourself on what's going on.
Yeah.
Joske, do you like take a hint and leave as well, or are you joining Jack and Emily and continuing that conversation?
I think I absolutely take the hint. Hand holding, I think, is something that like feels very physically intimate to Joske. Not something his family did growing up, and like especially between adults. And I think it's sort of like, oh well, they're having their moment. I'm gonna let them have it. I think I'll step out with Valentine. If Valentine is willing to let me accompany him, I will. I'm a little curious what happened to right? Did my friend just like leave while we were having this whole conversation?
Oh well, of course I have. It's mostly forgeries in my apartment, but I did have an actual stolen Russian icon or something along those lines.
So Valentine, you're regaling Joske with this along the way.
Yes.
Joske, I bet Dika returned to see if anything could be done for these sleeping folks. Like feeling like she's delivered the message. You're probably one of the few people who might be able to help, and as long as you know what's going on, she's a little bit steadied by that.
So I think I just to retcon that, like I think I said something to her along the lines of I'll look into it and see what I can do, and I'm kind of gonna back burner that, and
that works for me. If that works for you.
Yep, that might be a lesson I learn about relying on my friends. Who knows? But yeah.
So Valentine, Joske, together you make your way to Valentine's apartment, which was was above a little art gallery, and now there's just a big like plume of smoke flowing up from it. There's some firefighters are pouring some water on it, but like a little half-heartedly because they realize they definitely got here too late, and there's probably very little that can be saved at this point. Things are it's looking pretty charred and ruinous at first glance. Valentine, what do you do?
I think Valentine sighs, taps his foot, and it feels a little bit like things echo out into the darkness. And I whisper in the language of night out to the kid beyond the veil. And I am calling in creatures of the void and darkness to consume the oxygen and light of this place. Set this fire out.
Okay, just erase any traces of flame by eating it all the way up. Yeah, you're calling your friends on the other side.
Yep.
Roll plus fable.
Yeah, let's see here. Let's see if this works. And that is a 12.
Why are you guys rolling so well? I don't get it.
So helpful reinforcements arrive.
Yeah, so it sounds
Mom doesn't get leverage on me yet.
Mom doesn't get leverage on you yet. It sounds like you're calling on creatures that will specifically kind of just consume the flame, right? Like basically like fire eating shades.
Oh yeah, Joske is a bit tuned into the other side, so he can probably hear their horrible shrieking.
Yeah. Any other details that we'd pick up as we, as kind of
as we listen to the wails of the hungry dead. I pull on my cigarette and say, like birdsong, isn't it?
Lovely. I tremble to think of the birds that live where you grew up, Valentine.
Oh, yes, you do.
As you're saying this, a little like, there's like a flap of too many wings, and Valentine, you perceive a little netherworld bird kind of landing on your shoulder, and it says in your ear, Prince Valentine, the taste of the flames. This was set deliberately. Someone burned your apartment down on purpose. We thought you should know.
Do you have any indication of who?
There are, like a couple like shrieks back and forth as the spirits compare notes, and then the little bird on your shoulder says, "Someone named Anton, a criminal from this human city."
Oh, Anton, that... Yes, okay, that's someone I know. Anton, that... silly ass. Joske, what do you say about... I'd usually ask Jack about the need when mass casualties are called for. But what do you say about teaching some necromantic idiots their place?
I am sort of pull back my blazer, or I open up my blazer to reveal the shoulder holster with my pistol, and I say, I can't deal casualties with quite the volume that Jack prefers, but I can solve some problems with violence.
And
I'm not a bad shot.
Hey, nice. Yeah. On that note, I say let's take 10 and pick up back and find out where our operatives are all going. All right. See you in 10. All right, are we all back? Marvelous. So, Emilie, I want to check with you. When do you think you're next alone?
Who? I think definitely after they've left, probably do some small talk with Jack. But again, it says like, I been a long night. I think it's still night. I don't know. I think we went straight here after the whole Timofey nonsense. So she's like saying like, I need to get back home and get some sleep. So yeah, probably like soon after. She's back in her apartment. And yeah, she takes out the stuff that Victoria gave her. If I remember correctly, yeah, that was a notebook, right? Notebook and a dagger.
Yes. Yeah. I think she may have even said, that the notebook was a list of people that needed to be sent, to the Netherworld for her purposes. Yeah. So if you check out the dagger, it has a familiar feel to you because there seems to be something shadowy playing around the edge of the blade, like that dagger you once stole from Valentine. And the notebook has Victoria's very, very distinctive, elegant handwriting. The name Lady Aurelia Falkirk, kind of right at the top of the first page.
Right. I think I'm gonna as I'm reading that, I'm probably pouring myself a glass of wine because why not? Reading that. Not great wine, it's cheap wine. Can't really afford that much. She'll turn to Constance if Constance is about.
Yeah, your little conscience that takes the form of a ladybug. But
yeah.
I don't think that Victoria lady is a good influence on you, Emilie.
Well, if not for her, we wouldn't have met. She brought me here. She taught me a lot of things.
Were any of them good things, Emilie? Or did she mostly teach you how to do bad things?
I'd like to think that she gave me tools so that I can figure out how to do good things or bad things. I don't suppose you agreed to doing this. And she points the dagger at the notebook.
That sounds like a classic evasion, Emilie.
We're getting you through a little tinny. Is your microphone where it needs to be?
Yeah, sorry. That sounds like a classic evasion, Emilie.
The ladybug lands on the notebook and kind of buzzes her wings unhappily, right? Saying, is this just a list of people to murder, Emilie? That's no good. You can't just go around killing people.
Trying to think, has Emilie actually ever killed anyone? I don't think so.
You've shot people sometimes.
Yeah, I've shot at people.
I mean, I think you shot Timofey in the chest when you first met him. It's just that doesn't.
No, I pointed a gun at him. And then monologued, and then fell off a building.
Fair enough.
So I don't think Emilie has actually ever killed anyone. Not even that Urban Shadows campaign. He mostly ran from people. So yeah, I think she's just tapping the notebook. What do you think Ashley would have done? Would do?
She would have found a way to warn these people.
Well, I can't really do that while everything I am still stems from her.
I think at this point you hear like a sort of icy sound. And do you have like a mirror in your apartment?
Yeah, proper like person length mirror. Just like stashed haphazardly at the corner over there.
I see. So it's a full length mirror, but it's not like hung up on the wall. It's just like leaning against something.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. The glass is like frosting over.
Oh gosh. I think I'm gonna put down the dagger and walk to like the mirror and just see if like it wipe the frosting off.
Yeah. On the other side, instead of your reflection, you see a gorgeous redheaded woman in a white dress, who gives you a little smile and says, "I got your message."
Well, I'm glad we're meeting not in the middle of a firefight this time.
A welcome change. So you say our mutual former paramour has slunk back onto the board.
Well, it's not so much slunk on as more like trying to take control of the board. She's already given me a laundry list of things to do, people to off.
And are you planning on doing her dirty laundry?
If it can be avoided, I'd rather not.
Very well. We can help each other. We'll have to if Victoria's making a play. There's something I need you to find for me, and if you can do it, I can shield you from her.
That would be a welcome change. What do you need?
She like holds out a slip of paper, and like somehow the slip of paper is like coming out of your mirror towards you.
Yeah, I'll take that.
It's a picture of what looks like a snow globe kind of sketched on it. She says, "Don't let its appearance fool you. The globe of ancient winters is a powerful artifact. I believe it's recently come to the city."
I have to give me a bit more to work on on that, Malashka.
Have you heard the Noble Order of the Silver Eye?
Hold on, let me double check because I'm mixing up my organizations.
You have, yeah.
There's the Sons of the Eagle and there's the Noble Order. So yes, I've had a run in them. In fact, I think I'm invited to a party with them.
Perfect. Then you'll have the perfect chance to scope out which of them might have the Globe of Ancient Winters. I believe one of them has brought it to the city.
I'll have a look I'll look into it, Malashka.
It's good to chat under less dramatic circumstances.
This is still quite far too dramatic for my taste, or not dramatic enough. I can't really decide. Yeah, I think Emily just like smirks and like just I'll sit back down, look at like the at her desk, look at the notebook, and I think before we cut away, she'll like open. Actually, no. Would she keep it in a drawer? No, she'd keep it somewhere safer than just a drawer of her desk. She'll go to like, I think she probably has a safe or whatnot. she'll open it. It's like on the flooring, and she'll open it, and inside there is like two things. One is like the sliver of Stygian blue dreams, or
Right. Yeah,
and
the painting she
yeah,
she stole.
yeah, and also the golden apple.
Yeah, you kind of plucked a sort of small budding golden apple from the tree during the sewer adventure. It's yeah, it still kind of makes a little musical sound when you ping your finger against it.
Yeah, I want to know more about this apple, for sure. But I think Emily's just gonna like look at that, and I mean, I could try to decipher this apple, I suppose.
You could also
Oh,
yeah, you could also
actually,
get Spooky to try and unlock more of of any of your kind of little supernatural collection here.
okay. Here's what I'm gonna do.
All right, what are you
Here's
gonna
what I'm gonna do. She's gonna take the dagger. She's gonna nick off a bit of that apple. And she's going to eat
it. Yes, please roll to get Spooky.
Yeah, yeah.
You use a shadow edge dagger to take a small sample from a golden apple that grew from the tree of the Hesperides, replanted in the Viennese sewers.
Yeah, I'll be fine. See, look, we keep rolling good here. I rolled an 11. And what's for get Spooky again? Well, it doesn't matter.
What's plus Fable?
Oh, yeah, that's a 0. So I rolled an 11 somehow.
How is this happening? What's going on with our dice room here?
I don't know. It's been really nice. I will like kind of let's lay out what Emily's like intentions are with Apple.
Please.
She wants to get out of Victoria's thumb, but she doesn't want to give up her supernatural luck. So she's hoping this apple will be like a replacement.
Oh, interesting.
Source of power.
Yeah, because everyone seems pretty interested in this tree and this apple. Yeah. On a hit, the world warps to your will. At a 10 plus, still choose one. So pick one from that drawback list.
Yeah, I'll just mark a stress. I don't want to elongate this scene any longer.
That's fair. Yeah, it is a little stressful to just eat a bit of a golden apple that you've sliced off with a shadow dagger. But Constance kind of buzzes around you saying, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" And then kind of lands on your shoulder and it's like, "Huh. I guess the apple does work for humans too. So strange." And
usually they just explode.
You feel this just strange internal tingle, right? Spreading from your middle to your extremities, and then it dissipates. But there's a sense that something was imparted to you from this apple. Does that work for you?
Yeah. Connected to some other kind of thing. Or
sure, yeah. Can't hurt to just keep making those connections. Wonderful. Let me check in, Jack. After having a little time with your fellow operatives at Checkpoint Midnight, I wondered a little about what you might be interested in next. I had a sort of a proposal based on some of the stuff we'd started to some of the wheels that started turning last time around. But if you've got another idea, I'm also all ears. I was wondering if you wanted to chat with Timofey and have that be meet a contact at the cafe, since we sort of dangled that he knows more about persons of interest to you, including Dr. Thorne.
Well, I think that partly depends on exactly how far we're going to get with Valentine's story, because I was also thinking about kind of rounding up the crew of Timothy and Trip and Lena, but basically just making sure we've got more gun hands to deal with whatever Valentine needs to cope with.
I see. Yeah, making the rounds. Well, that's I guess that's a question for Valentine. Are you reaching out to Jack as well, or are you checking this out with just Joske to start?
I mean, if Jack's available, I mean, of course, we'll bring him along. There's no one with a penchant for violence like Jack.
Cool. So Jack, yeah, I'll give you a moment if you want to just have your own chat with Timothy, but then have Valentine appear to recruit you for this mission if that sounds good to you.
Well, based on what I overheard in the conversation, it sounds like Valentine's probably in a little bit of a fix. So I think I'll probably just start rounding up people and telling them,
nice.
You need to be ready. And, the checkpoint
rules
has rules, but Herr Franz also has a somewhat unorthodox hat check and coat check room. So we can abide by those rules while at the same time being ready to go. I mean, there's always somebody there, and they'll always, take a violin case and stick it in the back so that we're abiding by the rules.
So the play here is gather your allies and have them just check their weaponry at the door, waiting for the signal.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we can drink coffee. We can have some cognac, perhaps a cigar, some brandy, maybe some more cookies.
Who are you specifically trying to bring in on this? Because of course, everyone's got their own things going on. It's possible you might use leverage or make a stand to recruit your folks.
Timothy wanted something to do.
That tracks. Yeah, you kind of chatted with him previously, and he was ready to go on your patrol mission. Now you're just like change of plans. We're going on the offensive.
Yeah, we can deal with the British Embassy next week. I mean, and Trip. Yeah, well, this is actually an op, so this is something that'll help Trip get his feet wet. It'll dirty his hands up some so that he's got a little bit more credibility at the agency. And Lena might be busy. I don't know. Probably Lena might take a little bit more.
So where do you find her? Is there just a regular time when she does come by the checkpoint and you meet her then and say, hey, got a moment for to help a friend?
I think she pops by for coffee at a certain time of the day. I mean, we're all very busy. We don't have time to do things like check dead drops and deal with tradecraft. It's easier to just catch her at the bar when she's ordering
you
coffee.
Can do that. She turns. She says, "Jack, you found my galvanized for me?"
Timothy, he wants purpose.
So I take it he's more. She makes a gesture of someone not in pieces than you were necessarily planning.
He is 100% operational and functional, still intact, still in one piece. I realize that may come as a shock that I can actually accomplish
she
things.
does a slow nod, indeed it's a bit of a surprise. That's how it turned out. He's ready to talk, though.
You're roboting a little bit there. Can you repeat?
I said that Lena did a slow nod, acknowledging that it is a bit of a surprise that you've brought Timothy back in one piece, and she says he's ready to talk, though.
If he's not ready now, he will be. I think he just needs a little bit of time. Maybe to rebuild some trust.
I'm not made of time, Jack.
Well, funny you mention that.
Yes.
I have an idea about how you might be able to build a little bit of trust more quickly.
She like leans back a bit. She's like, Jack, are you trying to recruit me for another side mission that you and your friends have gotten yourselves mixed up in?
I don't know that recruit is exactly the right word, but it's in the neighborhood.
Well, this ought to be good.
One of my friends, well, quite frankly, I'm not sure I entirely understand it. They could probably explain it all better than I can, but they might need a gun hand or several.
Yeah. Are you making a stand to sway someone to your cause?
I would also like to point out to her that Timofey's coming and fighting alongside him. That builds trust.
It's a trust building exercise.
Exactly. We don't deal with trust falls. We just make sure that we watch each other's backs. We check each other's corners, watch each other's sixes.
Roll
Help people take out some gangster by taking out some gangsters, you know.
roll
Exactly.
roll plus dreamer.
That's a 10 on the dice plus 2.
Someday your luck will run out, but
Probably when I'm shooting something at this point. Like all the soft skills stuff that Jack is normally not that great at is going swimmingly tonight. Of course, combat's going to go horribly.
You've got a high dreamer, right? Like the thing with the unburied is they are a weapon, but also a dreamer. So it's just we're getting some real good dreamer rolls here, abetted by the dice. I mean, has anyone like rolled a dice under a 4 this session?
No. And honestly, Alexi, you may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Well, apparently so, because like with the promise of a sort of a fairly undefined mission, but the chance to the chance to be allies with Timofey and therefore maybe kind of build the trust she needs to get the answers she wants. Lena downs her coffee and says, "Damn it, Jack. Well, all right, I'm in."
So when Valentine shows back up at the checkpoint, we're just all going to be sitting out on the back porch in the greenhouse. Trip, Timofey, Lena, me. I mean, who doesn't want a small army consisting of an unburied, 2 galvanized, and a CIA handler who's
a good wheelman?
I was going to say, has he actually pulled a trigger yet?
Yeah, he took a shot in the warehouse shootout.
I like how you said he took a shot.
Sure. So Valentine, if you swing by the checkpoint seeking Jack's got company all arrayed, ready to go.
Oh, I did not realize you were throwing a party, Jack. Should I come back later?
It was my understanding that you were the one throwing the party, and I assumed that we would all have invitations.
I suppose so. The more the merrier.
And then, of course, there's the scene at the coat check where we're all getting these really ostentatious cases, like tuba cases and just ridiculous things.
Yeah, very, very heavy instrument cases being picked up from the coat check, and like definitely we see like kind of keeping an eye out, the waiters and staff of Checkpoint Midnight as it looks like you're about to launch a mission, right out of the doors of the checkpoint. But I guess Valentine, what's the play here? Are you just like bringing in this whole team of backup to turn up and teach Anton a lesson? Like how are you?
I mean, yes, that was more or less the idea, which is why I was perhaps a little bit leery of getting I mean, what is it now? About like 2 nation states evolved. But we'll manage.
It depends on where they got my parts from. It could be more.
Oh, do you want to do a mission roll for this? Because of course, it looks like you might indeed be embarking on a mission with allies.
Yeah, it does sound like that. It does sound like that. Let's see here. Where do I see the mission roll stuff?
There's a mission moves tab in the character keeper.
Okay, I see. With allies, specify your basic approach. I think we're going in more or less. We're rolling up on these guys.
Wow. Okay.
Like I said, Val, I was not planning on like sneaking in. This was going to be me confronting these guys and like putting them in their place.
Cool. So Anton's got a gang. Anton is himself a sort of small-time sorcerer, and he's got a gang of smugglers. What's his base of operations? I figure it might be a kind of a building that used to have some other purpose, but got partially destroyed in the war, and now Anton and his men have moved in and made it their own, right?
Yeah, let's go with it's completely like bombed out cabaret.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So there's still like bits of elegance, right, left over, but in a partially destroyed shell. And Anton's made that his place. Sure.
So I've got basically no intel, so no there.
Your intel is it's Anton. He burned your place.
Yeah.
Do you have resources or connections that will help with this mission? Sort of.
I mean, I feel like Jack has more than amply provided the resources and connections at this point.
Yeah, it just sounds like you, Valentine, are not sure they'll actually help because you're worried it'll just make things more.
I know that they'll help Jack, and Jack is going to help me. Thus, there is a chain, a daisy chain of aid.
All right, so that's a +1 for that. Now let's turn. Does everyone participating trust the leader's competence and intention? So
I feel like all these people Jack has invited definitely don't.
They don't trust you.
I kind of doubt it.
Trust me.
Yes, but
okay.
But who's the leader here? It sounds like Valentine believes he is the leader.
And I mean, I'm disagree with
Valentine.
That.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I always trust Valentine for everything, but in this particular instance, he knows what he wants and he knows how he wants to get it, and I think he's got a team that can do it. So sure.
Yeah. I mean, I trust that I can watch Valentine.
All right.
Get a cue, and at that, otherwise we're just going to stand there. And
I trust that I can keep my eye on Valentine is kind of the opposite of trusting.
No, not that at all.
Okay.
No, this is what I'm saying is, I figure that when you are ready for us to cut loose, that you will give us a sign, and I will watch you for that sign. And until then, we'll just hang out and look really menacing.
Is everyone being upfront about their agendas and motives?
I mean, Valentine is.
Joske?
I mean, yes. I don't have any other motives. I was trying to figure out what my motives were.
Valentine asked you to do a thing.
Sounds like friendship.
Yeah, exactly. That's fundamentally what it is. I mean, what's like at the back of my head, I'm going to admit it, is that like there's this other crisis going on. So I think that there's like, on the one hand, my motives in this are clear, but I think I'm also a little distracted. Is the bottom line. But yeah, I think I 100% in this. I'm not my loyal. I'm planning on doing this for no ulterior motives.
All right.
As stated.
And it sounds like Jack, your motive is also largely friendship plus team building for the motley crew you've tried to gather here.
I believe Motley Crue will come along in about 30 years, but sure.
And you feel you're being sufficiently upfront about that.
Yeah. I mean, we're all helping Valentine.
This sounds like we're rolling the team roll with a +1. So Valentine, will you do the honors? What have you got there?
It's only an 8.
All right. That's still a hit. That's that's a hit. So
poor for this session, though. Poor. I'm sorry, everyone.
On a 7 through 9, you're in the thick of things. You're hitting a snag, but you're still in the game. The MC will tell you who marks stress. So, we're invading the cabaret. I think Valentine, you mark stress when it becomes clear that that Anton has gotten his hands on your kind of basin of shade summoning, and so though you and your allies are able to quickly dispatch, and you tell me if you're doing it lethally or non-lethally. Either you can pull off, right? You're able to quickly dispatch some of the the human gang members standing guard for Anton. But as you get closer, you pick up just what's the sense you get when a hostile monster from the netherworld has been summoned, Valentine?
Oh, well, of course. As the power of night waxes, the light must inevitably fade. I think that the light sort of takes on, like, I'm kind of thinking of the right way. It sort of, the light twists and almost curves a bit, almost like those kinds of images of light curving inwards towards a black hole.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah. So, and is that something that anyone can see, but you're the one best able to interpret?
Yeah, I think so.
So there's just a little bit of like a black hole vibe to this to this partially destroyed building. Let's paint the scene a little. Joske, what's one bit of this of the former elegance of this cabaret that's been damaged either by bombing or by this this new attack you and your friends are mounting here?
I think it's textiles. I think it's like the remnants of fine cloth, tapestries, draperies, curtains on the stage, maybe linens on or around the tables. That, like, one of the things about like high quality textiles is that they're durable. I mean, if they were hundreds of years old, they would have, but like it's been a couple decades at most, probably much less than that. So I think you can sort of see that the like burned, charred a little bit, some holes in places, but like a lot of the sort of textiles are still intact.
Some sumptuous hangings around the area. Jack, what's a reminder of this place's decadence that has been damaged in some way by the war, or by this new battle?
A reminder that the former decadence of this place has been damaged. Well, while I was still alive, I came here once. I was told about it. I had some leave, and this place was known for having what amounted to clotheslines strung across from the balconies. And there were undergarments from the dancers on those lines.
I see.
And, well, those undergarments are now scattered across all the seating on the ground. It's quite a mess.
And Valentine, any last details to paint this scene of decadence and now destruction?
I think that the sumptuous carpeting and hardwood of the floor, that over the years, and with the kind of most of the roof having been blown away and only replaced mostly with things like tarps and stuff by the various squatters that have made residence here over the years, that there's a kind of moldiness and warped character to the flooring these days. Yeah.
Absolutely.
From like moisture and rain.
And I think as you're stepping foot on it, there's like a shudder from the floor, as if something is maybe moving around below it also. But yeah, the 3 operatives and three backup
Three backup player characters.
Yeah, so NPC reinforcements have all made their way in here. Valentine, as the leader, like, have you already given the wreck stuff signal, or were you knocking out guards and moving in more subtly? Either way, you're, as we said, you're hitting a snag, but still in the game. So it's just sort of a question of the flavor of what our situation is here.
I mean, yeah, I think we were knocking out guards. Yeah.
Great, cool, yeah. So you're inside the cabaret proper, looking around. Valentine, you took a stress from the realization that something unearthly is also here. But you also spot Anton at like a booth in the back, and he's like hastily scooping something up from the table and yelling for his men to gather. And you hear people running. People who were backstage are running out. Reaching for their guns, and otherwise he's clearly not happy to see you and knows you're here to settle a score. Valentine, what do you do?
Anton, I'm here about you burning my place down, and I would be fine with simply getting back my possessions and restitution for damages and not returning the score.
Yeah, I don't think he believes you. Given the amount of people he sees behind you, he's like, we got tired of waiting, Valentine. It's time. I'm springing my men myself. And he's reaching for his own weapon. Joske, you've got a move you want to trigger.
Every damn time, yeah. Gotta stop meeting like this. Plus operator.
Yeah, let's find out.
Which is, I don't do this thing. Hold on.
-1, I believe.
-1. I think you're right. Somehow or another, it worked out great despite my low operator last time. And I will. This time it did not work out great. That is a 3.
Why is it that Anton wants you in particular dead?
Remind me Anton's deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he does need some body to put his spirit friends into.
Yeah, but it sounds like he wants
This is
your
I mean, there
person.
might be a
personal.
particular Yasuke's body. I mean, look at him. It's a very nice body.
Yeah, so for Gotta Stop Meeting Like This, it's that when you first encounter an NPC, you can declare them an old friend or Wolf plus operator. On a
We're
miss,
old friends.
tell the MC why they want you dead. Yeah, so it does the move set suggests that you can declare anyone is your old friend. It's just some of those old friends want you dead.
Yep.
You can also mark XP for rolling that myth.
Yes. So sorry. So what's Anton's deal? I don't think I know anything about Anton.
He's a smuggler and small time necromancer.
Yeah, he was Valentine's. He was created when Valentine has answered a backstory question about what new untapped customer base he was trying to get into.
Right. I remember now. I remember Anton, and I don't think we were supposed to be working together. I think I just been like hired on as muscle, to help with smuggling something through from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That was inside the city, but also outside the city.
A little supernatural.
Yeah, but it turned out that his partner wasn't 100% what she seemed. So I shot her in the face with a cold iron bullet. But they were apparently friends. It was there may have been a misunderstanding. It's not clear to me whether he was friends with what was behind her face or with the woman who used to own the face. Like I don't know, but whatever it was,
it's all right. We understand. He's a Nazi by association.
Yes. Yes.
And Anton spots you, Joske, as he's like stammering out a response to Valentine, like looking around the set of kind of backup that you've brought, and then he spots you, Joske, and he says, "Traitor, you're here to sell me out again? I don't think so." And he starts firing right at you.
Yeah, I mean, so many choices.
Act fast here.
Yeah. I mean, I think I just dive behind a table.
Nice. Okay, cool. Just trying to
take cover.
Yeah. Give me an act under scrutiny. Since he's got you in his sights and he's trying to shoot you, and you want to have that not happen.
Sure. And that's without a label.
Mm-hmm.
That's an 11.
Okay. Back.
Is this a common theme among your friends, Joske?
He is not my friend. We were briefly friends, and I think I take a couple of shots over the edge of the table.
Just like,
yeah, I'm not actually trying to hit him. It's just like to keep sort of like
covering fire.
Yeah. I'm just like,
if I had a gun, I'd be doing that too.
Yeah. I think I get a question, right?
Yeah. When you act under scrutiny on a 10+, you do it and gain insight. Ask the MC one question.
Yeah, I think my question is, what can I do to get him to stop shooting? At least temporarily. Like, I'm not asking for the end to the fight. I just want, like, let's have a conversation here.
Yeah, you picked up enough from what he was like yelling at Valentine moments ago. Mm-hmm. To get the sense he has people on the other side he wants back, and so if you could plausibly promise assistance with the magic that he's he only partially understands, he might hear you out.
Oh, I know who's on the other side that he wants back though, and I do not want her back. I don't know exactly what happens to.
I mean, she's just one more person you can use old friends on.
I feel like we sort of established what.
Yeah, we established that relationship already. I know why she wants me dead. Yeah, but I think I shouted him. I think I shouted him. And this is 100% a lie, just to be clear. I know a better way to bring them back.
Nice. Possibly that's trying to fast talk an NPC.
I am trying to fast talk them. I think what I do is I think I say there's a, just to make it sound a little more plausible. There's a way to the realm of night through dreams, and it's safer than taking the normal roads.
Ooh,
which is almost certainly not true. I mean, there is a way. It probably isn't safe.
It probably isn't safer. That's very cool. Just let me check in, Jack. During this, are you like what's up with you? And I think you're the allies you recruited are probably taking their lead from you too.
Well, I had a banked advance, and I finally decided on the move. This machine kills fascists.
Remind us how that move works.
When you resort to violence against a whole mob of people, you can also pick one of these options, even on a miss. You destroy their morale and send many of the mob scattering, or you keep the attention of the whole mob fixed firmly on you. So if we're already
fired,
I mean, do I even need to roll resort to violence to scare them off? Once they realize that Lena and Timothy are crackling with unnatural electricity, and I'm basically.
I mean, they are necromancers, dear. Darling, that you are basically walking science experiments for them.
Valentine makes a good point. What?
All right.
So you are trying to unleash a little violence on Anton's gang in order to in order to hopefully send them scattering.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, this is my element. We're getting shot at, and Alexei, war's hell, and I love it.
Okay, I am gonna say one thing.
Yes,
it's totally legit to trigger both of these moves. We just have to hit the conditions for each, which is against War's Hell and I Love It is when you resort to violence against someone you judge to have really deserved it. And this machine kills fascists is against a whole mob of people. So do you judge this whole mob of Anton's lackeys to have really deserved it?
They're necromancers.
You make a compelling point. The only additional thing is I think that resorting to violence against people who specifically deal with resurrecting and controlling revenants like yourself probably means you have a disadvantage on this action, since who knows what tricks they have up their sleeves.
So you want me to roll 3 and take the 2 lowest?
That's what I want you to do.
All right. Okay, that gives me 5 plus weapon is 7.
Okay, nice. So you are still going to get to choose. On a 7 through 9, you choose one, but with War's Hell and I Love It, you can cause major collateral damage to choose an additional option, and you've got a different set of options from This Machine Kills Fascists. Tell me a little about the visual here, and then we'll work out the mechanics. What do we see as Jack and presumably his backup resort to violence here?
You gotta love Tommy guns.
So it's just hails of lead.
For me, it's hails of lead. I mean, I think at this point I have probably managed to acquire another Tommy gun, and I am literally walking through the room with 2 Tommy guns, one in my right hand, one in my left, just spraying lead everywhere, while Timothy and Lena proceed to shock the hell out of anything they see moving.
Yeah, we probably see them both wielding those collapsible metal batons, and there's electricity sparking between them. and they share a approving nod as they zap one of these necromancers that was trying to mutter a spell at the whole of you, and Trip is
Trip on the other hand though.
Yeah,
I think Trip is hiding under a table with his hands over his ears.
He's not as useless as all that, Jack.
I'm not saying he's useless. I'm just saying it's he's realized that there is some this is actually a smart thing for him to be doing. I mean, there is a lot of area effect stuff going on. I mean, I'm putting bullets down range. I don't think Lena or Timothy have necessarily pinpoint control over the electricity that they're sparking out.
It's arcing all over the place. You see Tiffany lamps shattering.
Yeah. So yeah, Trip staying under cover and trying to keep his ears covered so that he can actually hear once this is over with is not a bad tactical decision. It's actually kind of smart. I'm not saying that he's a coward. I'm saying he's sought cover and he's staying in it until he needs to come out.
Fair enough. So it sounds like you are causing major collateral damage.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
So what two options are you picking from resort to violence?
They're scattering.
Nice. From this machine kills fascists.
Yes. Yeah, because let's see, once more into this machine kills fascists, you destroy their morale and send many of the mobs scattering, keep their attention of the whole mob fixed firmly on you. Now we're scattering them. I mean, I don't necessarily have... This may sound hard to believe, but these people in particular, yes, I judge them to deserve whatever they get because they're necromancers, but have they personally harmed me? And the answer to that is no. So while I don't necessarily mind if they catch a bullet marked to whom it may concern, I'm also not going to pursue them if they scatter in terror and flee and I don't ever see them again.
Fair enough. So you're willing to let them get away.
Yeah.
What else do you pick? So you can also pick just from the regular resort to violence list. And I'm wondering, are you picking that you hit them and avoid their blow, or shall we have you take a hit in the process here?
Yeah, I think I'm going to avoid the blow.
Fair enough. That's your prerogative for causing major collateral damage. As we see some of the last of these curtains that have been left hanging in this place go slumping to the floor, riddled with bullets. There are some dead and wounded bodies around. Basically, Anton's men are skedaddling, right? making their way towards whichever exits they can.
Now, one question. Can I use
Yes.
man's best friend to summon Ushi and have Ushi secure Anton?
Let's keep that idea on the table, but
Okay.
I'm going to check in with Joske, who's trying to fast talk Anton. And we heard the pitch he was making, so let's have the die roll. Joske, you ready to roll plus operator?
Oh yeah, I'm always ready to roll plus operator. That is a lie. And that's a 6 with my -1.
Cool. Yeah. So as you're trying to spin this story, telling Anton you know a better way in, Valentine, you notice the floor kind of rumble, and something smashes up through the floor and wraps itself around Joske. It's clearly a snake-like being made of shadow. Jack is asking if he can aid before that happens. I think you're a little busy, since you're sending the you're sending people people scattering. I think Joske, I'm going to ask you to take serious harm as this thing like starts squeezing you, and of course mark an experience for rolling that miss. But yeah, it's, Anton's like muttering something under his breath that's hard to make out, but he seemingly tapped into chthonic forces and warped them to his will. Joske,
Plus stress, which is 0.
how is that? I guess because you listened to Jack's rousing speech earlier.
Absolutely, and look at where that got me. This time it's the exact same roll as the last one, but I don't have a -1, so 7.
Cool. Pick one of the options from the take serious harm list.
Oh, I'd like to give the opposition a juicy opportunity, unless people are like, no, that sounds fun to me. But if it does not sound fun to the other players in the room, I'll take the stress, which I can afford.
I mean, I'm always down for a juicy opportunity.
I'm checking with Valentine and Jack. Are you cool with me saying with giving Alexei that weapon, or?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so Valentine, you see this, this like shadowy snake slither around Joske and then just like pull him down, smashing more of the floorboards as it goes. But he's gone. He's been pulled under somewhere, and Anton is standing, looking more confident, even though his men have been shattered. He's saying, "You idiot, Garvey! You have no idea. You have no idea what I'm capable of. I'll tap into these powers in ways you've never dreamed of. Wild-eyed, right? And perhaps with that, we'll take a brief break, and we'll pick up with Emilie after the break because I don't want to leave her out in the cold. And we'll check in what Emilie's getting up to. But let's rejoin at 10 of the hour. All right. See you all then. All right, folks, are we all back? Oh, excellent. Emilie, let's check in with you. Your supernatural power is luck. So if you want to just happen upon this this mission that's not outside the realm of possibilities, of course, you could also pursue any of the other missions on your plate that various handlers have pressed on you. Emilie, what do you do? Where do we see you?
And would it be lucky for Emilie to just happen upon this mission at this point?
Lucky for you, maybe.
Especially if it were.
But Emilie's track record in missions. Oh, good.
Especially if she stumbled upon it, like say, while exploring catacombs underneath the city.
Yeah. Well, let me turn to Emilie first. Where do we want to pick up if we're checking in on you?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and I think part of her, because she's petty and puckish in many ways, she does want to prove that she can do stuff without having to turn to anyone else. Y'all are having fun at the cabaret. I think Emilie got an invitation to a party, so she's going to that party. Part of it's that, like, I didn't, because last time Emilie sprung a mission, everyone was going to a party as well, so I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna I think Emily's just gonna go to this party.
You're just headed to the party on your own, as it were.
Yeah, it'll be fine. And yeah, Ambrose seems like a lovely chap. Yeah, I think that's our plan anyway. But if you think it's going down too far a different path to where everyone else is,
no, I think we can work with this. It's you.
I'll say if I lay out like what Emily's planning. This isn't like going to be the only time she's going to this mansion, to this party. She because you go in there and you try to kill the leader of this organization. That's not great. You got to be a bit more subtle about it, a bit slower.
I see. So the
about
pitch
it.
is that she'll claim she's just scoping out the territory.
Yeah. Go to this party. Talk to Ambrose. Get in with this organization. That's her thing. So she's not going to stay too long there, but that's what she's doing while everyone else is fighting.
Okay.
Shooting
this works for me. You got the invite to this party. You got an address. You did a little chatting back at the cafe with the proprietor to learn a little about who the Noble Order of the Silver Eye are, and you think you've got a sense. How do you dress for this party, given what you know of the people throwing it?
Yeah, probably not very flashy, I'd say. It's a bit it's still a nice dress because it's a party, but it's a bit more sober.
I see. You're not trying to draw attention to yourself.
And she kind of like will comport herself.
Oh yeah, it sounds like you're not trying to draw a lot of attention to yourself. You're trying something that'll be appropriate for a gala at the mansion of Lady Aurelia Falkirk. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, you turn up and present your invitation and get ushered in. As you glance around, what are the the very kind of like subtle tells that that there's some degree of magical knowledge among the party guests here?
Yeah, I think there is that kind of when Emily's like going around and hearing the snatches of conversation, she notices the kind of it's a kind of not double speak, but like there's that sense of like they're using one language to speak of another.
Yeah.
It's all quite coded and coy,
familiar for her.
Yeah, right at home.
Like
Yeah, and like they're not like, yeah. I think she's looking for Ambrose.
Absolutely.
She's gonna zero in on him.
He will like come like hurrying over when he sees you. He says, "Oh, good, you got my invitation."
Yes, it was lovely. Given how we met, you would have been forgiven for not following up on what let's be honest, demanded.
He kind of laughs nervously. He says, "Well, you see, I kind of might need your help. You seem to know your way around this city and the stealing things scene a little better than I."
You seem quite tense. Is there something the matter?
Yeah. So she's or rather, Ambrose is indeed tense and kind of nods to you as you say this, but he like glances around at the the other party guests who are mingling and milling and admiring admiring the old like grandfather clock in the corner and the other accoutrements of the mansion, and he says, Can we find somewhere just a little quieter?
Well, lead on. I only just got here. And I think like I like gesture for him to like lead them to a quieter place.
As he's trying to make his way towards some side chamber, an imperious voice calls out, "Ambrose, who is that lovely young woman on your arm?" And an older woman with a shock of white hair is sweeping over in an elegant gown, having spotted Ambrose, and he just freezes in place. What do you do, Emilie?
I think Emilie will like turn towards the woman, put on her best smile, and say like, "Oh, I'm just a guest, invited by Ambrose. My name's Emilie Landau. You must be, let me just remember her name, Madame Aurelia Falkirk."
She smiles, but in a very controlled way. She says, "Charmed to make your acquaintance," and then like looks at Ambrose. "And where did you meet your friend here, nephew?" And Ambrose is just stuttering something, tripping over his tongue, not getting any words out. Actually,
oh, we cross paths as folks who tend to dip their hands in certain pockets do.
So you're not like hiding that you're a thief here? Like you're just laying it all out?
Yeah. Yeah. I think like why bother lying?
Fair enough. Yeah, so she kind of raises her eyebrows at this, and says, Ambrose, living a mite dangerously, wouldn't you say? But fondly, not terribly disapprovingly. What do you do, Emilie? There's a party full of well-dressed people. On a few of them, you spot a little lapel pin of that silver eye insignia, and Lady Aurelia has that incorporated into her necklace, I think.
I think Emilie is she wants to get in with these people, just get in a bit deeper. So I think she says well, to be fair, I did insist that your nephew, he did owe me a party, and well, so far this has been quite an interesting collection of people. I've heard quite a bit about this organization of yours, madam.
And what organization would that be? She says, just blank, just no selling it for a second.
I think okay, but before anything happens, I think I should decipher first. That's probably
Yeah.
Probably should have done that before stepping into this conversation.
No, that's fine. Go ahead and decipher now.
Yeah, I think this is just just normal, just dealing with people.
Roll plus operator. So you're taking in Lady Aurelia and the surrounding scene. What's your operator stat?
Ooh, that's a 9. +2. Roll 7 plus 2. That's a 9.
Okay. 9 will do it. You get to ask one question from the decipher list.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm torn between two questions. Oh gosh. These are both really good. How can I gain leverage? I'll go with that. For Lady Falkirk or Madam Falkirk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So she's a collector, right? She thinks of herself as an heir to the medieval alchemists. You probably spot other kind of alchemical symbols worked into her jewelry, right? If you can show her something she hasn't seen before, and she's seen a lot, I'll note she's seen a lot, but if you can show her something for the interest, and they'll definitely do leverage.
Ooh.
I might leave you to mull on that and cut over to our other operatives, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Valentine, this whole revenge thing was going pretty well. Jack was making short work of Anton's men. Then Joske got coiled in this shadowy serpent's grip and pulled down through the floorboards. While Anton is ranting wild-eyed about how he'll make more use of this power than you ever could. What do you do?
You think you know my dreams, mortal? My dreams are far darker and more horrifying than anything you could comprehend. I am getting weird at him.
Yeah. Get spooky by letting out your inhuman side.
Yep.
Roll plus fable. What do we? Does your power kind of manifest around you as you're saying this?
Yeah. Like lights just flat like light bulbs just burst and go dark around me.
Here's a question. Since we're talking about dreams specifically here, are you using your Sandman codename label rather than the regular Fable label?
Oh, is that how it works? Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
So the only thing is to use one of your code names, you just have to give leverage to your handler. But if you do
Might as well.
If you do that, you get to roll with the codename label, which is a +3 rather than your other label. So
sure.
Yeah. So you're kind of invoking the reputation you're starting to build for yourself. You are
Nope. That's a 5.
even with the codename label.
Yep.
Oh, amazing. So yeah. So tell me again what you were hoping to project with your power here.
I was hoping to project some fear and awe into this guy.
I think that happens. I think like you see Anton like blanch and quail, and cower, and as you're feeling, you're feeling powerful. You're feeling frightening. A voice kind of from behind and above you says, "My wayward child, what have you done?" And how can you tell when your mother manifests in the mortal realm?
I think it's not just that like warmth drains away. I think that like when she opens up an entryway for her to pass into this realm, that a lot like with that, it actually kind of pulls away like a bit of the atmosphere and oxygen, and it almost becomes like you can feel the distinct like kind of thinness of the air as she enters the world.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So like over by his not hiding place, but cover, Trip like gasps a little bit as the air suddenly gets thin. For the unburied in the room, it's probably not as much of a problem, but there's still a chill and just a hitch right in your reanimated bodies and bones as night suddenly is filling up, like where Valentine's own shadow would have been cast. There is a sort of vast semi-distinct form of night, and a hand of shadow sets itself on Valentine's shoulder. Valentine, I'd like you to mark a condition.
Sure. Let's see here.
Whichever you feel is appropriate.
Yeah, let me just go back over to my yeah, I'll pick Twisted.
Yeah, how does that manifest?
I think that as the hand sets on my shoulder, I cry out in pain, and I think that like the kind of human features melt away a bit, and we see kind of the emergence of something animalistic and monstrous. Like we see the hint of a bloody fanged maw.
Oh, just yeah, okay, yeah. That's fascinating. So a little glimpse behind the mask, a little sense of Valentine as indeed a monstrous prince of the nether realm. Yeah. What do you do? Knight is demanding an explanation from you.
I apologize, Mother. I am merely here serving your interests against those who would transgress into your realm. I am placating the shit out of her. Like, I know this is a complete lie because I'm the one transgressing her realm, but so are these guys. So, if I can deflect onto them.
Anton, she like a shadowy finger points and says, "This mortal is an open book to me. I know you had arranged with him to steal souls from my realm."
Oh, I mean, I think that there's like a hint, because I do want to give context to this. Like, Valentine considers like, do I give her Victoria? But I know that Emilie's attached to Victoria, and if I were to give her Victoria, she'd probably come after Emilie as well. And do I care about Joske though?
You certainly gave him the impression you did, but I don't know. That's really.
I mean, do I care about him as much as Emilie is the thing?
Well, no, I think a couple times we established that you started to to have a real soft spot for Emilie.
Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna. Yes, I mean, nah. I'm
excited about this possibility, so like, I feel free.
Yeah.
From my perspective.
I kind of look at her and say, then how about a treasure to set things right? Someone capable of traveling the worlds beyond of dream without one of our aid.
A mortal entering dreams? Impossible.
I gesture over at Joske.
Gesture down at where Joske has been like pulled beneath the floorboards. I
offer you his service.
I feel like this is trying to fast talk an NPC.
Yeah, definitely.
You cannot choose the last option since you are explicitly throwing someone else under the bus.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was this or give her Victoria. Those are my two options in my mind.
That's beautiful. Roll.
Okay, that's a 6. Well, I kind of look down at Joske and kind of give him the look. I've done so much for you, Joske, to help you on this. Now I'm going to need you to back me up on this and pledge your service to her.
Okay. So
I am using my leverage on you.
Am I present? Can I hear this? Is my
you
question?
are right here.
Yeah.
Well, I was pulled down under the floor.
I think what I'm going to say is you are like you're wrapped in this creature's coils, but as soon as night appeared, the creature stopped like squeezing you and just like held you there. So you're like looking up and like you see basically you saw like light and then the light was gone and somehow a darkness deeper than the darkness of the underground is up there looking down at you.
Yep. And I'm calling in my leverage to get you to help me on this.
Oh yeah, I'll do it.
Okay,
I
mark
will
the
do it.
XP and mark a stress for helping me.
But I'm going to do it my
Okay.
way, right? And I think what I shout is, lady, I will pledge my service, but I have conditions of my own. And this is maybe also how Skilla ends up my Western handler, right? I like, right? I think there's a piece here too where like, yeah, she's working for the West, but there's something else happening. But I think I say, I have my own war that I fight against the realm of nightmare and its encroachments on this city. I will serve you. If you will grant me some small bit of aid in that battle.
Yeah, I do feel like it makes sense that you'd mark a stress for trying to drive a hard bargain to Knight herself.
I also have that thing from Valentine that I should maybe use at some point, but we'll come to that at some other. This is not the moment for that. I just remembered. Okay, awesome. I love this.
All right, you got to roll one more dice here, Valentine.
I mean, really, all I have to do is. Okay, that's another one.
Oof.
Okay, so obviously, I'm not gonna like let up the opportunity for Joske to be somehow beholden to Knight going forward. But I think what Knight does is she says, "Yes, mortal, you shall serve me. And as for power, you shall have a taste." And like, how are you marked by Knight here, Joske?
I was about to go somewhere too dark. I don't want to do that. How am I marked by Knight?
You could get like one weird abyssal eye like Valentine has had this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was thinking. I'm. Oh, hello, puppy. I was thinking. I was thinking it's more a. Here's what I like, but maybe this is not sufficiently like marking. Is like this sort of Cruella de Vil white lock of hair.
Oh, that works. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where
like kind of darkness kind of seeps into you, and then we see a lock of hair just go stark white as
right.
it does.
If I have that kind of like, if you look at the Sam Wanamaker picture, Wanamaker, right, is like that like part with kind of like the big. It's not that big, right? But there's like at the part there's like a raised lock kind of in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Right, part left, and then the comb, the part that gets combed across the front. So that piece that's combed across the front becomes like stark white.
Absolutely. And I'm going to ask you to mark twisted along the way, just as you experience this, and then Knight turns back to you, Valentine, and says, "Wayward prince, you have been gone from the netherworld for too long. You have been corrupted by the pleasures and distractions of mortality. Come with me. There is much you need to relearn." And just folds you in her wings, right?
Yeah.
Then I think
I got an advance, so I'm changing it to desperate, make a deal with arrogant to desperate, make a deal with a dark power.
Oh, that's amazing. So your release move changes from arrogant to desperate given the circumstance you are now entering. That works perfectly for me. My instinct is to turn and have us do our end of session moves. And Emilie, if it's all right with you, we might even do like a little mini love letter to kick off the next season, so we get a sense of whether you impress Lady Aurelia, how you try to get that leverage. Does that work for you as a way to like put a bow on your plotline from tonight? Nice.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
in the meantime, let's do our end of session moves, and it's exciting that we'll be back in a Vienna that's been made even more complicated next month. So Jack, for the end of this session, any of these options from the end of session list jump out at you?
Oh, let's see. Given what I watched Valentine do, I think maybe my idea, I'm a little, I don't like people who push other people in front of buses.
And this was someone who was part of your crew, whom you really put your neck out for.
Yeah, my crew stuck our necks out for Valentine, and Valentine pushed Joske in front of a bus. So I think my loyalty shifted.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. You can mark an experience. Emilie, any of these end of session options seem particularly apropos?
She still won't take a bullet for most of them. I think her loyalty has kind of like shifted as well. I think I don't want to say that, like, just to cap off her relationship with Valentine. She's in that mansion thinking, "Oh, I didn't need his help at all." So I think her loyalty is kind of shifting towards, basically, she's figuring out, like, how to, like, move around Victoria with the help of some.
Circumvent her even.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That totally makes sense to me. Is that another advancement you're clocking?
Yeah, well, that's only my third one. There's some folks. I think Valentine got them their third advance before I did.
Well, you're catching up now. Joske, which any of these seem particularly appropriate?
Oh, I mean, I absolutely had my loyalty shifted because now I'm loyal to Knight.
Now you're loyal
to Lady Knight. I think that this is like a deal that I am satisfied with. Obviously, it's interesting. I think it's a very valid read for Jack to have seen Valentine throw me under the bus. But my perspective on it, and that may have been how Valentine thought of it, but my perspective on it is that Valentine offered me an opportunity. And
you're
yeah,
seizing that opportunity.
Yeah, and so I'm embracing it. So yeah, my loyalty has definitely shifted tonight. I mark XP. That's also an advance, and I kind of want to take the thread the maze move.
Oh wow!
I think it just makes so much fictional sense. I get one more
around. Yeah,
it makes a lot of fictional sense. I have one more of those advances, so I'm going to do that, and we'll talk about probably a Western code name also. But yeah, awesome.
So in our first season, a departing PC left a conscience to another PC. In this season, a departing PC leaves a loyalty to Knight and an ability to thread the labyrinthine byways. Valentine, let me ask you, what sort of an epilogue might we see to give us a sense of what becomes of Valentine, and if you want, you can incorporate an end of session move into this as well.
Oh, yeah. Let me remind myself the end of session moves here. I think. I mean, I kind of think that, like, let's see. Would I even be able to do that? Would it matter at all? Yeah, I'm gonna say that first off, it's gonna be unrelated to this closing scene. But Emilie can tell I take a bullet for her. I told her like all the like you weren't there for this part where you weren't there for the internal monologue, but you were there for the part where I offered my help. So you can remove a stress, and I'll take one. Just pile it on to the person that's not going to be there anymore.
Oh, that's perfect. And I wonder if maybe Emilie like gets like just a hint of that as like her like shadow edge dagger just like vibrates a little from you kind of reaching out from beyond the veil.
Yeah, I kind of imagine that like we like close on a funeral where people are mourning, and then suddenly like the corpse jerks up and kind of staggers a few feet out of the coffin, and then like we see like Valentine's arm shooting out of its open mouth. And kind of like he's literally climbing out naked from the inside of the corpse.
Oh my goodness. And it's like left undefined like when this is happening at what point, but this is him like trying to like break back into the world.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, that works for me.
People are probably crying and passing out because it's in the middle of the funeral. I should note.
That's Valentine. Thank you all for playing tonight. Thank you all for playing all through this season. I'll see you all back in a week as the new season kicks off. Save for Valentine, but what an exit. All right. Anyone who's been watching along, thanks for being with us. See you soon and stay safe out there. Bye for now.